Ahoy, well, hello. It is Tease. Good day. Good afternoon, good evening. I hope all are well. I hope all are safe. So I just want to say really quickly, this will be a message to the men, to the real men who there is hope for, who hasn't been fully indoctrinated or who hasn't been violated. So I just want to say to the men, because I don't know if you're a young man with an impressionable mind, or maybe if you're an older gentleman who's perhaps gotten scorned down the line, and perhaps you became a little bitter, or hell, maybe something even happened to you. But a little advice for you, because sometimes we tend to take the wrong advice. And me as a woman, I'm speaking to the men as far as this could be some advice to not take, because I see here and I experience everything around me. So, and I've noticed patterns in men here, there, and everywhere, to where it's like, basically, what I would like to say to the men, as far as giving you advice, this is for those who are their hope for, because there's some of them, you guys are too far gone. I don't know if you already got bitten by the Baphomet, or if you got taken a long time ago, but please do not take advice from bitter men who's more than likely probably got molested, either in the past or the present. This isn't to be disrespectful, but most of the time, these men, they're holding on to some type of trauma. All these women are evil, all these women ain't shit because maybe their mother did something to them. Now they've written off everyone. And that's another thing too, for the men who says they don't like women or stay away from women. What about your mom? What about your sister? You see what I'm saying? You do have to consider women, because if without women, your ass won't be here. You see what I'm saying? Talking shit about you wouldn't have the gumption or the right or the ability to even come into this world to talk about women if it weren't for a woman to sacrifice her life to bring forth your life. You see what I'm saying? It's said that death literally surrounds a woman when she's giving birth. Like, she can easily die. She can bleed out. She can, it can be so bad to where her and the baby loses it. You see what I'm saying? So to the men who there's hope for, like I say, some men, they don't understand. They don't realize what time it is. And they tend to disrespect the very portal that brought them into this world. And again, some people are bitter because it started at home. Oh, well, my mom wasn't shit. My mom didn't know me. She left me for that. Whatever happened, that's called holding on to trauma. So because I didn't have a good relationship with my mom, now I hate all women. Or now I hate all this and that. You see what I'm saying? Or because your wife left you when you were at work, now you hate, oh, stay away from these women. Don't. That's called being bitter. Because every woman's not like that. Every woman won't leave you for working too much. Every woman won't leave you because your mom ain't shit. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say, please be careful as to who you're getting your advice from, because you probably could very well be listening to the Baphomet himself. And that's the nigga with titties, basically meaning that he doesn't like women because he enjoys men, basically. And this is another reason, too, why I say be careful of these bitter men. Not only do they not understand who they're talking about, that they're actually turning their nose up at their creator. You see what I'm saying? Because, again, a woman, no matter how rough and tough you think you are, how much of a man that you think you are, a woman had to bring your tough ass into this world. You wouldn't have a being if it wasn't for a woman, your mother, bringing you into this world. So that's why I say watch your mouth when you speak shit about women. You see what I'm saying? Because a woman is the reason why you're here, standing in your arrogance today, you know? Also, too, I say that because when you get these men who says, oh, stay away from women and oh, passport, all this, the whole where get away from the women, and then now you're clustered up with men. If you say all women are evil and stay away from the women, so that means, okay, hey, the women are forbidden. Men have needs, don't they? So that means while the women are forbidden and you slap your hand when you see a woman and you surrounded by all of these chiseled muscle men, that's step one on homosexuality. That's how if you want to become a homosexual or a queer overnight, take advice from someone like a Kevin Samuels, or from someone who's called himself saying, okay, hey, men, get away from the women, or men, go get yourself a passport, bro. There's a few Israelites that are guilty of this, like New Breed with his punk ass, him, and even Ringo too. There's a few of them too that are, there's a bunch of them that are guilty of this. But basically anyone with that Kevin Samuels effect, if she doesn't get right, lay up with another man. Because that's basically what they're saying. They have a thing, oh, this is men going their own way. So if you got a bunch of angry, bitter, queer, I want to say the F word, you got a bunch of forgetty ass men coming together. They hate women. And then you're around all of these sexy, bitter men. You don't think that a man gonna turn to another man? And then because y'all got the same issues, and then isn't it something about how when a man can relate to another man, oh yeah, man, y'all gain a relationship, and then like, okay, yeah, my wife ain't shit. My wife ain't shit either. And then before you know it, y'all exchanging issues. Y'all realize y'all got a lot in common, and then before you know it, y'all gonna lock eyes, and then there goes the introduction to the Baphomet, and that's a nigga with titties. So basically, any man who calls themselves saying, "Stay away from the woman," leave her alone because she's trouble or she's evil. That's basically a polite way of saying just become a homosexual. That is a polite way of calling yourself the Baphomet. Because a real man, let me give you a definition of real man, because like I say, it's a shame that it takes a woman to tell you this, but the definition of a real man doesn't have to go out and find a wife. A real man doesn't have to talk about women. A real man don't have to lift a finger. Real men literally get swarmed. When I say swarmed by women. Good and evil women. I mean, women will come. I mean, these particular men, like real men, the one that don't have to lift a finger, he don't have to say, "Oh, hey, ma'am, are you sick?" No, the women are going to be so all over him to where he practically going to have to beat them off of him. That's a real man. A real man doesn't have to put in work, because like, here's the thing: when you're a real man, the women are going to flock to you. If you're crying and getting frustrated, oh, these women don't listen to you, go overseas. That's called a bitch ass man. That's a man that's not a man. He's actually struggling with his sexuality. I don't say stuff to be disrespectful. I say stuff to be realistic. This is what's really going on. And the crazy thing is, it's sad that it takes a woman who's not a man and that can tell you, okay, this is the problem with the men. Because if these men call themselves trying to holler at me or pursue me, and I'm thinking like, as a man, you shouldn't have to do all this. You see what I'm saying? I should be all over you because, oh my goodness, whoa, that's a real man. You see what I'm saying? But men, like I say, men these days, or I don't know what's happened. I don't know if Kevin Samuels got a hold of you, which he's a homosexual too. I understand he's dead, but he's a homosexual too, because he said out of his own mouth, okay, he'll tell the men, okay, these women ain't shit and this and that. They don't got a job. They don't do this, whatever it is with the problem with women. But then he'll, in the same breath, will say, okay, to look at the man. It's time for y'all to start laying up with other men. If it's men versus woman, that means men stay away from women, women stay. That's opening the door for homosexuality. This is why I'm saying be very careful who you're taking your advice from. You probably taking your advice from a bitter homosexual, or you're taking your advice from the damn Baphomet. A nigga with titties, he probably telling you to stay away from that woman so he can get some. And I'm not trying to be funny, like literally, just put two and two together, just think logically. Okay, men stay away from women, women stay away from men. If we're all, okay, men on this side, women on this side, you don't think we're going to start growing an interest for each other? Hell, even in prison. You in an all-man's prison, you serving life. After a while, you're going to be looking around to find your man wife. You see what I'm saying? This is why I say do not separate yourself from what's natural and then go into the unnatural. And then now, since it says stay away from the women, you around all these sexy-ass men, and you don't think you going to get looked at as a snack? It's a trap. That's why I said, please be careful who you're taking your advice from, because it could be a trap for homosexuality. And I'm telling you, once they get your ring, there's no coming back. This is why I say this is a message for the men who there's hope for. Once your ring gets taken, there is no coming back from that. You are now officially a Baphomet. You are the newest member of the Baphomet Club. You are the newest nigga with titties, or a nigga with a busted rubber band, however you want to slice it. And that's not going to look good in your resume. As a man, you're supposed to be the leader of the world, and you bending over for another man. Be very careful who you take your damn advice from. Okay? These are not the good old days. Ain't nothing sweet about these days. And I don't care how bitter and how bad his damn marriage was. That has nothing to do with you. You see what I'm saying? You know what's best for you. Because at the end of the day, he tells you to stay away from women. Then it's like, who's going to fulfill your needs? Him? You see what I'm saying? So that should be a red flag, number 2 through 10. You see what I'm saying? Those are all red flags. Because again, we want to turn our nose up at men and women. And men want to put messages out there, oh, stay away from the women. So I'm like, okay, so you just wrote off your mother, you wrote off your grandmother, you wrote off your sisters, you wrote off your daughter. You see what I'm saying? I'm sure some of you guys are even parents to a damn daughter. That's what I'm saying. Most of the time when we say things, we don't think about what the hell we're saying. We just say stupid stuff. And again, we write all the women off. All the women ain't shit. And then the next thing to do is become a damn homosexual. Now again, if you're a homosexual, leave that shit to yourself. Do not go promoting other men's rings because you're bitter or because you're struggling with your sexuality. So that's what I'm saying. If your role model is Kevin Samuels, I would say just go find the nearest exorcist or find maybe the nearest priest or something and get that demon off of you. Because your next step, I'm not even trying to be funny, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but if Kevin Samuels is your role model, your next destination is homosexuality. Because these, the standards that they have for these women these days, they don't exist. You want a woman to be this, and that, with a job, a virgin, and be quiet. You know that doesn't exist. So that means if that doesn't exist, that means you have no women to choose from. But yet you got all of these high value, quote unquote, high value or highly homosexual men to choose from. You see what I'm saying? If you have nothing to choose from the women department, and again, Kevin Samuels says if that happens, turn to the men. So again, unless you're a homosexual, please do not take advice from Kevin Samuels, because he died taking his own advice. And if you want to die a homosexual or die a nigga with titties or die while making love to another man, then you need to consider that as well. Okay? So to the men who there's hope for, please be careful who you take your advice from. And if anyone who tells you to stay away from women or don't get married, don't do this and that, that's for you to vet. Everyone has the obligation to be careful. If you call yourself wanting to be in a relationship or a woman, this is why you take out the time to get to know people. So then therefore, once you get to know them, and once you vet them and fully understand what they're about, then they will expose themselves, versus just jumping into a relationship and then you got to learn the hard way how they are, because you jump right into it versus taking that time to get to know them. You're going to need a few months to a few years to get to know someone. So you meet somebody, you really like them, you don't climb in bed with them, you get to know them for months and years to come. So then therefore, if they do have anything hidden in between the cracks, or if they are up to no good, it's going to spill out over time, because that's what they're about. You see what I'm saying? They're going to give you signs and wonders. If you know someone's after your money, they're going to give you signs and wonders. So again, this is why it's important to you vet someone, and therefore once they pass the test of time, then perhaps you'll be able to think clearly on, okay, should I marry this woman, or should I move because she has a lot of red flags? You see what I'm saying? That's called vetting. Vetting means you get to know someone. You don't climb in bed with them because you like the outfit they had on the night before. No. You gain a relationship over time. So again, if a man's not telling you, okay, get to know that woman or get to do this and that, and even if the woman is terrible, if he's not telling you, okay, well, she's terrible, or maybe, this is something maybe you need help, or maybe ask her what's going on, or figure out what's really going on with her, instead of just writing all women off. When they say write off all women, that means write them off so they can climb in bed with you. Because your next option, I'm telling you, I'm not even trying to be funny, just think of it logically. All women are evil, or all men are evil, so that means women on this side, men on this side, and we're not going to come together because we're rivaling. We're on two different teams. So that means, have you heard the saying, oh, we're playing on the same team? If it's man versus woman, women are going to stay on their side, men are going to stay on their side. That means, hell, when their needs start to kick in, and all you see are these chiseled, sexy ass men around, do the math. Homosexuality will be beating on your door. So unless you want to become that nigga with titties, or that nigga with STDs, please be careful. Okay? This is why I say that. Don't listen to stuff like that, because logically, that's just basically saying that you're a homo. That's a polite way of... The manosphere is a polite way of saying homosexual. Kevin Samuel impersonators, or Kevin Samuel people who are motivated by him, that's a polite way of saying I'm a homosexual. You're saying you're homosexual without saying it. Because if you're a man that have no dealings with women because you're too good for them, or because they're no good for you, and you're surrounded by all of these quote-unquote high-value men, do the math. The only men that qualifies around here are the men, and then now y'all tearing each other's asses up the long way. That's called being a homosexual, and that's called being the newest member of the Baphomet, which is going to be a rise of it. Do not be the latest Baphomet out here on these streets. So please take the advice to whom there is hope for as far as a man. Please be careful who you get your dating advice from. Any man that tells you to stay away from, don't marry women, not because they're evil, or not because they're no good to you. They just tell you just flat out stay away from it for your safety, or because you're scared. That's another thing too. A man that's scared of a relationship, you're scared of a woman, there goes your masculinity. I'm telling you, there goes your masculinity. You scared of a woman. Oh, this woman is running. This woman got you biting on that woman, got you scared of a relationship, got you scared to lay with another woman, and pushed you into the arms of a man. Be well, be safe.